I can pick someone up off waivers a lot of weeks and get a reasonable start. But DB Loner says, would you give up Josh Allen to get Puka Nacua and Jerome Ford? Obviously, a lot would depend here on what your quarterback you would be left with.
Get home and unload.
Yeah, Mark, any thoughts on Josh Allen the rest of the way?
I think I'd probably hold on to Josh Allen just with the elite upside that he has at the position. It is tough. Like Puka could, again, hate to just say it again, but depending on Cooper Kupp's injury, Puka could be a locked in wide receiver 1 rest of the way. So a little bit of a risk there if you feel good about your quarterback 2 option. Let's say you have like a Sam Howell or Daniel Jones or something on the bench. I don't think that drop off is too big. So it kind of depends more on the quarterback 2 option there. If that's not good, then I would lean keeping Josh Allen, but it kind of depends on your team construction.
I think a good point here from Ace Rosenthal. The spreadsheet versions have denied Adam Thielen a spot in the top 150. I kind of agree, and this makes me sick, but I think Adam Thielen's going to catch like 80 balls this year, man. And I know that's easy to say after Monday night, but I kind of had that feeling before where DJ Chark is a vertical threat. All these other guys, Mingo, Chenault, Terrace Marshall can't really play. There's no big target earners at tight end or running back. Adam Thielen is going to fall in for earning targets. You see that, like when Bryce Young drops back, he knows the guy that's going to get open in the intermediate range is Adam Thielen. So I wouldn't be excited about it, but in a pinch, if I have to start Adam Thielen, especially in full PPR, he can get you 4 or 5 catches a week, man. I think he will average around 4 or 5 catches a week. So if you wanted to add Adam Thielen, I think that's okay. It would be the most 8 condom play ever, but yeah, I think it's okay. I see some Dynasty questions in here. We did just update our Dynasty rankings and Dynasty trade calculator. So if you go up here, you go to NFL season long, you can see our Dynasty rankings here, and you can also put in trades that include draft picks into the Dynasty trade calculator. That is all part of DraftKit Pro as well. Eva says Waddle straight up for Josh Jacobs in full PPR. Who would you rather have there, Jack? Waddle straight up or Josh Jacobs?
Yeah, that's Waddle for me, especially with how the Dolphins and Intua have looked. I'm going Waddle there.
Okay. We have in the rankings, Mark, we do have Josh Jacobs pretty far ahead of Waddle. My wide receiver bias makes me kind of lean a little bit Waddle here, but I don't want to say bad things about Josh Jacobs either. So I think there's smart minds can disagree, I think, on this one, I think is fair to say.
Yeah, I think if, again, league structure matters. If you start 2 wide receivers only and 2 running backs, I would lean Jacobs there. If it's 3 wide receivers, I think it's a bit closer. I would personally lean Jacobs, I think. But yeah, it is a little close.
Michael Guest says, is there a realistic RB2 I could trade Madison for, or just wait for a blow-up game and sell high whenever that occurs? I don't think you can sell Alexander Madison right now, man. What are you going to get for Alexander Madison at this point? I will again say I am worried about Alexander Madison, but I am not panicked on Alexander Madison because they continue to go to him in 2-minute drill, in base, around the goal line. Team's been struggling massively, especially the run game's been struggling massively, but role I think is still there for Alexander Madison. The concern will come if we start to see Ty Chandler eat into Alexander Madison at a really high rate. But yeah, at this point, I don't think you're going to get much for Alexander Madison. I probably wouldn't just sell low on him. I don't know. Maybe that's a fair question to ask. Would you guys sell low on Alexander Madison right now? I'll start with Jack.
I might be looking to get out, to be honest. I just think that all of the fears that the naysayers had during the offseason were kind of validated. I don't think anyone questioned the week 1 workload. It's whether he was good enough to sustain that workload the entire season, and he's been pretty brutal so far. He had the fumble issues on Thursday night. So I think right now we have him 53rd overall, which is around his ADP. So I think if you can get mid